How's it going, artisans? Welcome to Tech Chess. My name is Steve Nyanumba, and today we're going to be doing something a bit special today. So what's been going on in the world of Laravel? Well, we've just recently come to a conclusion at Laravel Laravel version 9.2.0, version 9.20. And what has happened here is that we have actually replaced our Webpack wrapper that is Laravel Mix with Vite. So Evan Yu has created another technology aside from Vue, and it's called Vite. And Vite is like another ES building Webpack wrapper or something like that. It's better than Webpack, it's faster than Webpack, and it's more conducive in the environment of Laravel. And most people are actually wondering, so now that we're coming into Vite, how are we going to change Tailwind CSS to Bootstrap? And that's exactly what I'm going to be doing in this video. So Vite has been spoken about a lot in recent times. It's been characterized as one of the great frameworks for building modules, raw modules like Sass, like Less, like Stylus, like all these different JavaScript stuff, like from Vue, React, Angular, and whatnot, and as well as vanilla JS. And it's really put out a name for itself. And I really want to, first of all, speak up and congratulate Evan Yu for making this achievement and making this accessible to the rest of the world. And it's going to be such a rock solid framework. I believe it is. All we just need to do is practice as much as we can to be able to use it in our Laravel project. The first section of practice right now is the Bootstrap conversion from Tailwind CSS. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So using the same packages that we used before, we're going to actually tackle this subtly. So I'm going to go to my Laragon project files, and I'm going to go and create a new project inside my www. So I'm going to come in here and right click and say open with terminal. So the first things first, if you don't have your Composer packages updated, you just need to update that. So I'm going to come in here and do Composer global update. And most times I will do -w, -W, so that I can update all the dependencies and all the dependencies of the dependencies. So it's just customary to do that sometimes. So I do that, but there's definitely for me, I don't have that many packages, so that's why it will say nothing to install. All right, so now we're going to be crafting a new Laravel application. So what I want to do is I want to do Laravel with Jetstream and Livewire. So I can do that. So I can say Laravel new, and then I'll call it Bootstrap 5 conversion. So I'll say Bootstrap 5. And then I'll do --jet. And then it will give me the options of Livewire or Inertia. I'll go with Livewire. Will my application use Teams? No, it will not. And it will craft out the application. So we'll have to give it a few seconds. So we'll just let it run, and we'll be back in a few. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we are done compiling all the modules and resetting ourselves for the development. So what I'm going to do over here, I called it Bootstrap 5, so I'm just going to come in here and type code Bootstrap 5. And it will open this in VS Code, which is on my other screen. So I'll just bring it here. And I know you guys have been complaining that you're not able to see the fonts. So I'm just going to maximize on that right now. I think this is enough. All right, so now that given that we are now inside the application, the first thing and the very most pivotal thing that you should be doing is, first of all, initializing your Git repository with this. So I'm just going to press that. So initialize the empty Git repository, and then I'm going to commit all the changes. So I'm going to add all, and then I'm just going to git commit -m. This is the start. Now, that being done, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to start bringing in the packages. So the first package we're going to be bringing in is, we're just going to type in here, composer require. And if you guys remember the package of last time, it's called nascent. Sorry, my terminal clicked out. Nascent Africa. And then it's going to be called Jetstrap. I believe it's called Jetstrap. What I'll do is I'll do --dev so that it can save it in dev dependencies. So it's just going to install it, taking its time to install all this. So we're on Laravel version 9.21.0. So as it stands, it's indexing for me those files right now. So you can see all these items are done. And then what we're going to do is PHP artisan, so PA, and then we're going to do jetstrap :swap. And ladies and gentlemen, this is where we have this is where we have a selection of elements. So we either choose livewire or inertia. And in this situation, because the application is of livewire, I'm going to put in livewire. So you can see immediately, we come into resources, we'll come into views, and we'll see many changes over here. There's so many modifications that have been done. So the first thing we're going to do is going to layout, and then we go to app, and then we can see the modifications that have been made. So I'm just going to click this, click out of this, and then there's this button over here to show the changes. So these are the changes that have been made to this app layout section. So we can just click on this to view changes. I don't know why it's not showing the working tree. Yeah, so guys, we can see that the style sheet has been changed. The style sheet linking has been changed over here. So this one is Nunito, and it's showing the weight. This one has just been changed back to that. Then there's livewire styles, and then there's Vite. So instead of bringing in Vite over here for the app CSS and app.js, it's bringing in a script tag, which is what we do not want. So the first thing that I'm going to be doing here, as you can see, those changes are really the ones that we're going to be tackling and starting to play around with. So in this situation, because Vite is what needs to be changed, I'm going to click on that button to bring it back to the working tree. This app.css, the mix is not being used here again anymore, so we delete those as well. This was what was their default, what was the default of the entire situation. So I'm also going to replace and debunk this. Then we're going to come back over here and see what has been changed over here. So this was what was there before. This is just Tailwind CSS, and we're not going to change anything to do with this Tailwind CSS bit. Then we can see deflex, container, all those things. Those are things that are not going to change whatsoever. Then this thing for stacking script, we're going to use Vite for everything. And yeah, so that's it. So the app.blade.php is done. The next thing that we can also take a look at is the guest.blade.php. So I'm going to close the working tree and app.blade.php. So over here in the guest, we can see the changes through the working tree. So we can see that, let's actually just close this down. We can see that the fonts changed, which is something that we're going to be also changing out. And then over here, because of what was there before, this was Vite was there before. What they're bringing in is the app.js, which is something we're also going to be changing. And as well as that, we're also going to just leave it like this. So we save it and we move onwards to the next modifications that we need to change. The next modifications we probably need to change. I don't think there's anything needed to be changed in dashboard, so we'll leave it like that. In profile, there's nothing. So the main templates are the layouts for app and guest.blade.php. The next thing we need to come and check out is our JavaScript, because this is what is being compiled by our Vite. So there's app.js, which imports this require Bootstrap. And then there's this Bootstrap. So we can come in here and look at this one and look at the changes that need to be made. So you can see this one is import Bootstrap, whereas it's require Bootstrap over this on this side of things. So the reason why I'm going to actually change this is because there's a big difference. You see, this Vite, the one characteristic that is being used by Vite is that it only compiles the ES6 modules. So it's the most important thing is to convert everything to ES, the ES standard. So import Bootstrap like so and so. And now that we've said that it's in ES6, this is the most complicated part of this particular situation. Because if we compile this, it's not going to compile very well. So the best thing that we could do in this situation here, you see this const bootstrap is equal to require bootstrap. Best situation we could do is we could say import. So let me just show the changes first. So the changes are like so. So you can see this window is equal to required Lodash. So we need to import dash from Lodash, and window dot dash is equal to dash like that. So that's the first thing we're going to head on. And then we're going to do the same thing for Axios. So import Axios from Axios, and then window Axios is equal to Axios. So that's the next thing we're going to change. Then the last thing was the Bootstrap. So there was Bootstrap over here initially. If we can just go back, you can see there was Bootstrap here initially. So I'm just going to revert that, and then we're going to import Bootstrap like so. So this is how you do, this is how you work around the ES6 modules. You say import, so all, import all as Bootstrap from Bootstrap. So that's how we go about that. And then we'll come and say window.bootstrap is equal to Bootstrap. Great. So now that that has been done, of course, this also, because it's reverting from the previous versions of Laravel, these will need to change back to what was there in version 9.20 and 2.1. I mean, whichever it is, the latest ones. We have to replace this to be the latest ones, and that has been done. The next modification that we need to actually check out, I think that's the last thing. So the next one is this path. app.css. So what was in here before, as you can see, everything is bless. So what we can now just do is come into the Vite config and see what is going on here. So you can see we are importing this resources CSS app.css, but we do not have that anymore. We now have app.scss. So what we're going to do is go to resources, SAS, and then we're going to change this to app.scss, and we're saving that, and then we're coming back to the terminal. So what we're going to be doing in the terminal is, the first thing we're doing is npm install, just as it's stated over here. Now this is the point where now we can continue with the conducive installation of everything. And then the last thing, we're going to have an error if we do npm run dev, because we're trying to import SCSS, although there is no SAS. So what we're going to be doing, just give me a second, guys, because we installed a new project, I need to refresh my my Apache. I just need to reload it. So once we do that, we can come into Bootstrap 5 to test after we've accepted that this new project exists. And you'll be able to see, okay, well, unknown database Bootstrap 5. So we can just come in here and go to the database, create Bootstrap 5, and we'll be golden. So I'll come in here, right click, create new database. I'm using Laravel, by the way, for those guys who don't know which app this is. This is Laravel. It's a very nice Apache server for Laravel projects. And yeah, so you can see base table not found. So what we're going to do is PHP artisan migrate. So I'll just do MFS because I abbreviated that for PHP artisan migrate fresh seed. So you can see these are the migrations that I've run. And once I refresh this, we have our Laravel project. But what we don't have is the styling of everything. So what we're going to be doing, because once we do Vite and we can see the build, hot reload doesn't work with Livewire in this particular situation from what we've actually seen in the past. So what we're going to be doing is npm run build. And I'm sure it's either build or preview, especially when we're coming to deal with, what is this? The package.json. So it's Vite build, and then there's Vite, which is for things like Vue.js and all. So you can see preprocessor dependency SAS is not found. So this is the error I was talking about. And the error is showing up because we can't compile if we do not have SAS as a preprocessor installed. So you can see the dependencies don't automatically download like what was there in Webpack Mix. And by default, of course, when you're importing Jetstrap, you're going to have this webpack mix.js and webpack config, which is not what we're using at this particular point in time. So now that we've installed SAS, we can now run the build. And once we do Vite build, it's going to build for production, and we're going to get some few errors here and there. So you can see this import Bootstrap SCSS Bootstrap. So what's happening here is that we haven't resolved all of the what's this thing called prefixes, especially with Vite. You know, with like what happens in this particular situation, we have to resolve the path. So what we can do in this situation is when we come into this point over here where we have plugins, we can also come in here and import our resolve package. So we can say import, and then we can say resolve. And the resolve, we're going to import it from path. And I've never tried this actually, so if it works, kudos. If it doesn't work, then I need to learn more Vite. So I'm going to just come in here and resolve, and then we're going to say alias. So alias, like so. And then the first thing I'm going to do is put in the alias, like that. And then I'm going to point it to the node modules folder. Like so. So that's how we're going to do it. And then from there, we can now run build. Let's see what will happen. And you can see we're almost there. Well, can't find style sheet to import. It's going to bootstrap CSS. So the resolve function may not be working. Well, that didn't work. So we're just going to have to go back to, it's just like this one, and this in particular. So it's the same kind of scenario, resolve alias, path resolve, like that, like that, like that. So that's how the config should have been applied. But all in all, what we're going to be doing is we're just going to go back to the app.scss. I'm going to change this from that to node modules. And we save that, we run the build again, and we see how it goes. And ladies and gents, we'll observe over here so you can see if the build will actually work. So it says cannot read properties of undefined reading config to get Tailwind config. So there's another one that we need to remove, which is inside the post CSS config, and we need to remove the Tailwind CSS. So that's what we do, and then we run the build again. So let's observe the build. All right, so we have our stuff. It says public build assets app. So it's going to look inside our Vite configurations and look for this app.css and app.js. So I think the last thing would probably be to check out the layouts, which would show that we have resources CSS. So this should actually be resources.sass.app.scss. So that's the last thing that you should probably check out. And from there, we can just have a good time now. So that I changed this back to the Tailwind craft. If we go to register, you can say unable to locate file in Vite manifest. Login, same situation. I think it's because maybe the guest layout is requiring the same entry points. So SAS, and then we have CSS. Let's try again. Okay, so it works. So at this point in time, I think we could just now go to register, and we register ourselves, the passwords, and we register. And password is saved because we've crafted an automatic password, and you can see this, everything here is in Bootstrap, and we can now go to the profile. Everything is working. So let's just check the profile. The profile is working very well. Two-factor authentication is working. Let's see if it will go on. Yes, two-factor authentication is done. I can scan this. Let's actually see if, because this is the most difficult piece of the puzzle. So let me just try the two-factor authentication with the Google app. So I'm going to add this. I'm going to scan the QR, and we've scanned it. Replace, and we're going to come into, where is it? Yeah, it's this one, right? Yeah, it's this one. So I need to enable it again. I don't know why it's like not, it's just showing these loading signs. It's just something with the JS or something with the Livewire scripts and styles. But nothing too much to worry about. I guess from there, now we can just do the itty-bitty craftings and all that stuff. So you can see. So that's it from me, ladies and gentlemen. That is the start of finding out how to craft Bootstrap and source it into your old Livewire project. There's still more to come, definitely. There's so many things that you can do to craft out many more. And yeah, that's just the very beginning of how to get started with SAS and Vite and every single bit of the puzzle. And just to go back to how things are, as you can see, everything is working fine and dandy, and we can even log in. Everything is working well. This is Bootstrap that is being utilized. You can see Bootstrap version 5. A bit of Tailwind because of the Tailwind CSS that's actually inside the starter page. But yeah, so if you guys really did enjoy crafting out your applications the way I did, thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you so much for clicking this video. Ladies and gentlemen, Vite. Vite is the next building tool that is going to be used extremely well. So I'm going to be doing a full-on tutorial based on this entire process of crafting out an application and using Vite for bundling projects, and also the different dynamics that are going to be dealt with this. But yeah, as of now, this is just the start. So I hope it helps you to be a bit more curious and find out more tasks and more approaches to building your application using Vite and all the different technologies that are coming with it. That's all from me. My name is Steve Nyanumba, and this has been Tech Chess. This has been me reviewing Vite for Bootstrap development on Laravel. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Source me a like. Please subscribe. Please do subscribe, because I am sure 78% of you guys have not subscribed to the channel. And that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Let's see if we can do a lot more tutorials. As of now, take it easy, and we'll see you guys in the next one.